tried to put the. Welcome to a clean start. This is the first day that we are starting our new health journey. It's really important to me that I look at food, nutrition, health from an abundance perspective of all the things that we can do, all the things we can enjoy. And that's how I approach my cooking. I love to see what I can do, what I can create, and not feel like I'm limited to less. Because I feel like when we eat healthy and we feel good, we're actually creating more. So that is what I'm really excited to share with you. If you are you going to participate? What I've got in here, I've got a pepper, really doesn't matter what color. I have a sweet potato, or I have already peeled mine. So that's probably the first place that you'll want to start, peeling your sweet potato. I have 4 stalks of celery. They're washed and I've cut the ends off. I have a zucchini. It's not very big. You don't need a very big one. And a yellow squash. Those are washed. And then I have an onion. We're going to use half of this onion. That's a pretty big onion. And then we're going to use fresh garlic. In one of my emails, I had mentioned if there's other favorite vegetables that you have, feel free to add those into it also. I didn't put it on the recipe, but I love mushrooms. So I've chopped some mushrooms here that I'm going to throw in. And if you like spinach or kale or anything, you can throw that in. I do want to just take a minute and kind of celebrate the people that are here live. Thanks for being here. I have my daughter who's living in Southern Utah, and Sophia, she lives in Canada, and she's on the phone or in the car, so she's just watching. And then let's see, Candace, tell me where you are zooming in from today.
I'm in Salt Lake.
Okay.
So not too far from you.
You're local, yep. And then Jamie, where are you tuning in today?
I'm in Pleasant View, so I'm an hour or so north of you in Utah.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pin myself. Oh, I need to go to a different view. Okay. I want to pin this so that when we record that they've got more of me. Okay. Mary, give me a thumbs up. Can you see it all? Mary's kind of my helper on the digital side. All right. So since my celery are all washed, ready to go, I'm going to start with celery. What we're going to do first is just chop all the vegetables. And I don't know if anybody else has a chopper, but this is my chopper. And when I'm chopping vegetables, what I'm looking for is creating little pieces that are about the same, that are all equal. This chopper has an attachment, and it's, I don't know, like a 1/2 inch, little tiny. I don't know if you can see that. And so as I'm prepping my vegetable to go into it, I'm going to make strips. Well, I just need to cut it into sections that will fit in that little space. So I'm going to cut a big chunk like this, and I chop it like that. This is my game changer chopper. I can go through vegetables so fast and chop them, and they all come out equal sizes. If you're chopping at home and you're doing this by hand or with a knife, I would cut my this long piece into thinner strips. So I've cut this like into thirds, and then I would just chop. So they're cubes, if that makes sense. As equal as they are wide, depth, width, they're all about the same. So these little pieces that are the same. That is what I look for when I'm chopping.
Angle the camera down so you can see the board.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
And then Becky, is this the right, can you see?
She
So I have like
a
a
bit
fine one
smaller.
or the smallest one?
I
Okay.
am doing the smallest one.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, yes, please ask your questions as you're going, but about 6 months ago, my daughter Mary and I started a health journey, which we started changing the way we're eating, went straight to an anti-inflammatory meal plan. It's not a diet because a diet sounds like I'm restricting myself, but I feel like it was just opening up floodgates of new opportunities. And obviously it's changed my life and I'm so excited about it. And I am happy. I want to talk more about it. It's going to help me keep moving forward. But Mary started it too. And so Mary lives about 4 hours away from me, and I would drive down to visit Mary once a month, and we would do this meal prep and planning and stock her fridge and freezer with vegetables and proteins. And she's been we've been able to do this together, which has been really fun, but it's kind of been a life changer for both of us. Would you agree, Mary?
Oh yeah. And the food that you're doing today is one of my favorites. So I have learned to love a bunch of new things that are just so tasty to me now.
Yeah.
Practice doing that rather than the eating Oreos or eating pizza so often. And then I can just eat this a lot healthier and just as tasty food instead.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
It is very satisfying.
Okay. This one is not going to go. All right. So when that happens, I don't know. Right, one more time. How are you guys coming? Are you done with your celery?
Oh yeah, I'm finishing up. I was just gonna give a tip that I just figured out. If you put the celery grain against the grain, I don't know, like I felt like there was a grain issue. So if I did it the opposite way the next time, then it like cut better. It just cut through the
Okay.
stuff and stuff. I don't know if
That's
that'll work for
funny.
you guys.
That's funny because I've never had this happen before. But isn't that life?
Mm-hmm.
It's there to catch off guard. All right, I'm gonna do it the opposite way. So if I was doing the first one that way, go the other way. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, give it a try. Did it work?
Okay, so I'm gonna just put the celery aside. I just grabbed some plastic containers to keep my veggies all ready to go. Then I just rinse everything out real quick. And then we're gonna start a different vegetable. We're gonna do, I'm gonna do the peppers next. Because so one thing that I do is on my meal prep day, I would probably chop 3 or 4 times what I just did. What I just did is for one recipe that we're doing today. I like chopping and having more of the chopped veggies on hand for other meals throughout the week. So when I open my fridge, if I have chopped celery, I'm going to use chopped celery in whatever I'm making and I can toss it in there. So this is how I cut my peppers. I cut the top off. And because of my chopper, I'm looking for sections, the width that will fit in my chopper. That's why I cut this pepper like this. And I just cut sections that I'll throw in the chopper. And if you're cutting pepper, the same thing, you're going to want to create equal size pieces, slicing them into equal sizes. I cut
Becky, do you have a hard time keeping your stuff that's already chopped, like crisp and fresh in your fridge, or do you have any secrets for that?
I actually put them mostly in a Ziploc. This is what it looks like. So these are the peppers that I chopped earlier this week, and I just store them in my quart size Ziploc, and they last in my fridge a good week plus a few days. But often I use them up before I get to that point.
I chop mine up on a week by week basis, so it doesn't, about a week, yeah, but like that's enough to get me through a few meals for sure. And
Yes.
I do squash and peppers and stuff.
For me, if it's chopped, I'm much more likely to use it. If I put just a pepper in my fridge, I just look at it, I'm like, that is really pretty. I don't know what to do with it. But so when I come home from the grocery store, well, I usually do the shopping one day and then I'll do the prep the next day. And I'll chop everything I have because I'm more successful to use it if it's already chopped. I do not throw rotten vegetables away like I used to. I'm actually using them because they're ready. So my pepper is done. Put in this. This is what you see on the TV shows. They have all the things prepped and ready to go. Then I'll rinse this out quick. Because all of these vegetables are going in the same dish today, the rinsing, like it doesn't matter if an onion touches a red pepper because it's all going in the same place. Let's do the zucchini next. And I kind of mentioned this in email, but if there's a vegetable you don't like, don't use it. Pick a different one. But with these, I also will chop a whole like Costco sized bag of these and have those ready already in my fridge to chop. You can throw yellow squash into pastas, into sauces. You can throw them into omelets. I do a lot more veggies now for breakfast time than I used to. And that's what we're making today is a breakfast dish. But I eat it any time of the day because it tastes so good.
A lot of the Costco size stuff you can freeze. We have frozen them before.
The veggies, is that what you're talking about? Yes.
Especially when you do a full size of the squash, those squash bags.
Yes. Let's talk about fresh versus frozen. If you are going to freeze a vegetable, the water content in it is higher. And so it changes the state of it if you freeze it. I would not take a frozen zucchini and, well, maybe I'll say it this way. If I have frozen zucchini or frozen onions in my freezer, they would be really good in a soup. Something that, if I was doing more of a fresh dish, like if I was doing it in a pasta sauce, I guess I just prefer the fresh over the frozen. So, if you're getting a Costco size, you can designate some for fresh and designate some for frozen. Then you have both.
Hey, is there like a total amount of cups of veggies that we're going for today's recipe? Do you know?
I basically just go with whatever. Like, I feel like my zucchini or this squash was a little bit big.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so is mine. That's why I'm asking.
I may not put all of that in there. So if I don't use it all, I'll just Ziploc it and save it.
Okay.
So, that's again a flexible thing. If it's a vegetable that you're okay with, but you don't really super love it, don't put everything in. So I'll do the green zucchini. And like, it's not a bad thing to have extra. You can always save it and use it again for something else. But this time of year, these zucchinis and squashes are so good. I'm gonna do a recipe, a stuffed zucchini, a stuffed pepper. I'm gonna do that the week before Thanksgiving. Just to teach using these fresh squashes right now. But what else is I gonna think about? Okay. I don't know if I really explained this, but I've cut this zucchini into these chunks that will fit in my chopper. And then I've cut them down this way so that they're like that same ½ inch size. So when I put it in here, it comes out exactly like a cube. I like being uniform. I like everything coming out the same. It cooks evenly that way too. Okay, so we were talking about fresh versus frozen. Did I cover that, or do you have questions about that?
Or are there any questions about anti-inflammatory in general on like what that is?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, maybe I'll just answer it in case. That's a good question. Like, our bodies, there's different things that cause our bodies to get inflamed. Stress, environmental things, and gut can cause inflammation. So an anti-inflammatory diet really cuts back on the things that feed that. So sugar is something that feeds that inflammation. Gluten does, and soy, and dairy. So when we started on an anti-inflammatory, we took all those things out. We also were very careful about the oils and just did the cleanest oils, which are sorry, I got distracted. Coconut oil, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and the avocado oil. So today we're using the avocado oil. And that's a good question. I think the last thing I have here to do is my onion. How's everybody coming? Are they, do you following about the same pace, or? Okay, I'm gonna do half my onion. I'm gonna cut. Oh, there's a cool way to cut the onion. I guess kind of was thinking I was using this for the chopper, but this is how I cut my onion for my chopper. I cut it the end off, and then I cut it in half, and then I make like again, it's that 1/4 inch slice. And that's what I'm gonna put down into my chopper. The onions, I have found that the smaller the vegetables that I chop, they cook evenly. I don't know, it just kind of turns, I really like having all the vegetables the same size and easy, that they cook evenly and quickly. So, the dog just walked in. Hi, Mila. Okay, any other questions? Or I know there's different ways of cutting onions, and if I'm using a knife, would have probably cut it a little bit differently, but
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Becky. So I'm home now, so I can actually talk. How do you put that onion in the chopper? Because that's like what we're cooking. I mean, so we're chopping all the time. How did you
Yeah.
put that in there? Did you cut it in half and then just put it in? No.
no. So I cut it in half like this.
Yeah.
Then I took the flat side right there.
Yeah.
And I cut that into like 1/4 slices, and I
Yes.
cutting like that.
Okay.
Take those slices, which looks like this,
Yeah. And put those in.
add in the chopper.
Yeah. Okay.
So that.
And you can only put one of those slices in at a time. You can't layer two. Okay.
I just do one at a time.
It's still quicker than like
Yes.
doing it with a knife.
Right.
And you get probably quicker at it, right?
Yeah.
Once you've done it a few times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is just the way I do it. There's so many different ways. I like that, like I've touched the onion very little.
Yeah, right.
Do you have something, right?
Just say hi to Rachel.
Oh, we have Rachel on. Thanks. Hi, Rachel.
Sorry, I'm late. I was on a call.
That's okay. Glad you're here. So Rachel, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're calling from and what's your connection to me?
I'm Rachel. I'm Becky's niece, her favorite niece. Don't tell anybody. Just kidding. I don't actually know.
I only have 82 nieces and nephews, so Rachel's my favorite.
And my friend Candace here, she and I were like besties in high school, so that's fun that she's on here. I love you, Candace.
It is fun. Rachel invited her friend Candace. Well, Rachel connected me and Candace like a couple of weeks ago.
I invited a bunch of people. They said they were coming, but clearly they did not come. So
That's okay.
Maybe
I'm
next
recording this and they can catch up later if they want, or join us next time. Okay, so we are at the point. Are you watching, Rachel, or are you doing it with us?
I'm watching.
Great.
Yep. I should actually go cut sweet potatoes though. Maybe I'll do that just for me.
So sweet potatoes, I do not do in my chopper. The way I do a sweet potato, once it's peeled, I cut it in half because they're just so hard and thick to handle. So I cut it in half. I put the flat side down, and then again, I cut it in like a 1/2 inch slice. I always want to put the flat side down so that it doesn't roll. Sweet potatoes are very thick. And again, I'm trying to create about the same thickness of a sweet potato as my other vegetables so that they kind of cook evenly. Then I'll lay the flat side down and I'll do another 1/4 inch square strip. So from this side, can you see that? That one's kind of a fat one, like this. Let's see, where can you see it best? Anyway, so it's like a little square, and then a little too fat. And you know who taught me this part is my daughter-in-law. My mom did not show me how to cut vegetables. I didn't learn it from my mom, but I learned from my daughter-in-law, whose father is a French chef. She has so many great cooking skills. It's amazing. So I have tried to take what I could learn from her. I need another container.
And Becky, I was going to say, I mean, we have this debate. I mean, I don't know whether you have that in the US like we do in Canada, but like what I see there, that looks like a yam to me.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have that whole sweet potato yam thing.
Yes. In fact, when I was checking out of the grocery store yesterday, the guy said, "Is this a yam or a sweet potato?" And I said, "Well, at the grocery store, you call them yams. At home, in every recipe, they call them sweet potatoes." So
yeah. And sweet potatoes are white. I mean, that's what they're white-ish, like white creamish when you go to the grocery store. So I prefer the orange ones, but I just wanted to know from a anti-inflammatory, like I know that white potatoes, like pure white potatoes, would not be an anti-inflammatory ingredient. Because I did that a few years ago with my daughter. So I know about white potatoes. But do you know anything about sweet potatoes versus yams? Are they both good?
No.
Oh,
The white sweet potato, the white skinned or flesh one, the glycemic of it is more like a white potato.
Yeah, the GI index. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I've been buying the right ones then. That's fine.
Yeah. So the orange ones are the lower and the healthier ones for you.
Are they really tasty? I think they're sweeter actually, but okay.
I like the flavor better of the orange ones. So when we did the anti-inflammatory, very basic meal plan, sweet potato was one of our starches or our healthy carbs, and quinoa. And quinoa is a grain, and it's again lower glycemic, lower an anti-inflammatory. And so almost everything I ate either had a sweet potato in it or quinoa in it. And I really learned to love both of them and using them together. So this recipe has, I usually eat it over quinoa, but it also has sweet potatoes in it.
Did you ever do like riced cauliflower?
Yes.
Also.
That is
another quinoa, but I would do like riced cauliflower for like curry or something.
Yes, that is a very good option.
It is delicious, as well as just very versatile like quinoa.
Yes.
I really like it too. And I buy it frozen. I don't know, because sometimes it's just such a hassle. Or sometimes I do buy the cauliflower and then I put it in my food processor, but it's a pain. So I do buy that frozen and it seems to work okay.
Yes, I agree. The frozen ones and that package from Costco has it's in a individual bag.
Yeah, they have small bags and a big bag.
Oh, looks like we have somebody else join us.
Yes.
This is getting on. It looks like it's Carol. Is that Carol? Carol is my sister-in-law. So that's
Carol, have you been trying to unmute? Or are you somewhere else? It's been looking like she's been trying to unmute, but I can't tell.
okay. Okay, how are you guys doing? Are you ready? Jamie, it looks like you're done. Candace, you're done. Okay, I just barely finished. So that probably takes the longest part about the whole cooking day. Let me just wash my hands after all that. So what I have left is the garlic clove, and we'll add that later. I use a mincer. You can use minced garlic if you already have it ready to go. So I've got the sweet potatoes or yams, celery, the zucchini, the squash, the red pepper, and onions. And I told you I had mushrooms and I need to use them, so I'm gonna throw mushrooms into mine. You can add or subtract any vegetables that you want, but this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 6 veggies and sweet potatoes. So it's just loaded with lots of good, healthy foods. I'm gonna move my camera over to a different position. So we come to the stove. This is where we can get the meat out. How's the lighting's a little bit. Right. Can you see me okay? Okay, so I've turned my pan on. I'm gonna use a skillet to cook the meat in. Let me get meat out. So I use a ground turkey, lean meat, and I'll cook it in my pan. Get it all cooked, and the spices. So if you have your seasonings, which you would think that I'd have them out already, but you want to see my spice drawer? Look at that. It's right
A
here.
bunch of yeses.
Yes, yes. Show me, show me.
my
I'm
spice
home now,
drawer.
so I can actually concentrate a bit more. Show me.
Oh, did you see it?
Oh, I love that.
And then I have a few extras
Up the top. Yeah. Me too. I can never get enough, right? Like there's so many spices.
Yeah. Okay, so pick up your meat. I think this is a kind of a great way because you guys are learning and doing it alongside. Like you're probably learning more than if I was just doing it for you. So Lee,
You
yes.
mentioned in one of the emails that you could do ground turkey or sausage. So the spices you're doing, are you kind of putting the sausage spices in, or do you already have sausage?
So this is just plain unflavored ground
Okay.
turkey. So the seasonings that I put on the recipe are things that you can add to create more of the sausagey flavor. If you already bought the sausage, then you probably don't need the extra flavors except maybe salt and pepper. Like, it's just fun to use seasonings as much or as little as you want.
Yeah.
That's probably something that was a new thing for me, is actually using my seasonings. I found these ones. I am going to just do a tiny bit of avocado oil because the ground turkey is so lean and it likes to stick to my I use stainless steel, a 5-ply pan. It's very high quality, and I got it because my daughter-in-law loves it and knows how to use it, and she's taught me how to do it. And I really do like what.
Well, maybe check in to make sure everyone's at the same spot.
Okay, what do you say?
Maybe check in and make sure everyone's at the same spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody ready for the meat? Okay.
And is that a pound there? Oh, sorry, I should be muting myself. I'm sorry, I'm making a coffee
I
now.
did 1 pound.
1 pound. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And you try and use free range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use free range. Organic gets too expensive, to be honest.
Hello
Oh,
to
hi.
Crystal, who's joined us. Say hi.
Oh, Crystal here. My screen. Hi, Crystal. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch to my AirPods so that I can hear you. I feel like with the meat grinding, I can't. Let's see. Oh gosh. Okay, can you hear me now? I guess you're all on mute. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I can talk and I can hear you guys if you say something. Hi, Crystal. Can you tell us where you're flying in from today?
Say that again.
Where are you joining us from today?
My kitchen, but I've not gone shopping this week yet, so I don't have any ingredients. I'm just watching.
Good.
But
Hmm.
you know,
You
we are going to town today, so I will pick stuff up.
good. You can do that. That's yeah, it's great. I'm glad to have you here. That's the beauty of Zoom. In fact, I think it's well, I like seeing everybody, and this is just such a casual thing. So I do want to talk about meat, and I don't feel like my AirPods are, you guys can still hear me okay, right? Your thumbs up, okay. Jamie asked me this question the other day about frozen meat. Now, when I am meal prepping, I like to start with everything fresh because my goal is to make a big batch and then put some of it in the freezer for a rainy day and to use some right now. When I do, if you're using a frozen meat, it is not wise to thaw it and use it, thaw it out and then refreeze it. So if you're going to use a frozen meat, you may thaw it out, you may cook it up into something, but use it within a day or two. Don't put it back in the freezer and say, I'll use this dish another time. Does that make sense? Or do you have any other questions about freezing meat or freezing these meals after or anything? Any other questions?
I just always forget that I froze something.
What was that?
That I always forget when I freeze something, and then like, or I'll see it like when I'm making something else in the freezer. I'm like, oh yeah, that's there. But I don't know. I just forget to incorporate it back into our meal plans later. Sorry,
Yes.
there's a vacuum going in the background. So
I totally agree because I also find it, I don't know about you guys, but like it's unappetizing to me. Like I look at it in the freezer, I'm like, oh, like, and then I'm like, then I defrost it and it just doesn't look the same. You know, I just love seeing a fresh pot on the stove. Like it's convenient and all, but I don't love it. I don't have kids at home now, so I'm okay. But that's the
Right.
way I look at stuff that's in the freezer. It kind of just looks distorted.
Right. And that's where this can be so custom. Like you'd rather have it fresh. Or in that case, like another thing that I've done is just I've cooked up the meat and seasoned it. And I set that aside, and sometimes I'll freeze just the meat. So when I thought, and when I do that, I'm only freezing like 1.5 cups at a time. I'll pull it out of the freezer. It thaws pretty quickly in some warm water. Or yeah.
Becky, I do have a question. The glass containers that you tagged, they're freezer proof, I guess?
I have put my meals in there, but I didn't like it. I don't
Oh,
freeze my completed meals in the freezer in those.
right. Takes up too much space. So you put it in Ziploc and just like pat them
do.
down so they're yeah, that's probably easier because then you can also just pop them in hot water,
Yes.
boiling water. Yeah, that's a
Right.
good idea. I should do that. Right. And you just flatten them out and then you can put
Yep.
like way more in the freezer.
Yes, I
Got
flatten
it.
out I put in a Ziploc and I make it flat and then I freeze it that way and then I can stack them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I pull it out, then it can thaw very quickly.
Got it.
So my meat is done. I am ready for my spices. And I used to start with, I'm gonna do a half a tablespoon. I really like the seasoning, so I anywhere from 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm doing thyme, garlic powder, garlic salt.
So Becky, did you say teaspoon or tablespoon?
I'm doing 1.5 teaspoons, which is
Okay.
a half a tablespoon.
Okay.
And you didn't see me drain it because I didn't. I feel like turkey is so lean that kind of just cooks down. And whatever little bit of liquid was in there makes it a little bit more moist instead of drying out. So
And you're just doing the same amount of seasonings for everything?
yeah, I am. And again, you can kind of play around with that if there's something that you like more or less. And I think rosemary is so good in I don't know, it just gives it a good flavor.
And are you putting your garlic clove in with your meat or are you saving that for the veggies?
I'm gonna put it in the veggies.
Okay.
I haven't put it in yet.
One thing, I don't know if you've seen this. This is one of my favorite shortcuts. You ever
What is
had this frozen garlic? So
No.
it tastes more like the fresh, but it comes in like 1 clove little, I don't know, pods. So then you just peel this off and you can just like pop it into your meal.
Where do you get those?
I got these ones at Walmart. But like I can buy ginger like this and garlic like this, and I've really liked that. Because when it thaws, it's like grated really fine. But it tastes good. So
That's awesome. One
So
more way
it-
to make it easy.
It's already grated.
yeah, so when it thaws, it's just like in tiny little pieces.
Wow, that's cool.
So
Okay. I don't want to miss little things like this, but just take a second and smell your meat. Smell the aromas and the smells that or the seasonings. I have learned to just love like enjoying the process of this and just feeling really grateful that the mixtures of the seasonings, I don't like all the work that went into that to grow all those herbs and that we're using herbs that were created for us. I love using all the plant things. They make me feel really happy. The same thing with all those vegetables. I'm gonna bring them over here. We just gotta take this in, all the colors. Those are all the things that are going to go into our meal that we're doing. It's just so beautiful and colorful. It's like eating a rainbow. I just love it. So I've turned my meat off and I'm going to I'm going to use this big stock pot. And I'm going to start the sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes take a little bit longer to soften than everything else. So let's see if it's, oops. So we're going to start with the sweet potatoes and let them get like a head start, about 5 or 7 minutes on that. And then add the other veggies, and those don't take long to get tender. And then we just throw the meat in and it's all done. So if you can stick with me a little longer, we'll get the sweet potatoes cooking. And
Are you just like pan frying them basically in oil?
yeah, and yes, the sweet potatoes in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I do that, I feel like I have to, I end up adding some water because they like
Yes.
stick. Do you add water too? Okay.
Yes, I have a half cup of water here. So since you tell me, Rachel, do you do it in the oil and then add water as they kind of?
Yeah, I just kind of add it as they start sticking really bad, or like if they start sticking bad, I'll just add a
Okay.
little bit as needed.
Okay.
And sometimes I put a lid on to make it go faster, but I don't know if I'm doing it right.
That's how I do it. That's exactly how I do it.
Okay.
Is starting with a little bit.
And then, but you're not like seasoning anything yet. You
I
season it all after you
can-
get everything else in? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I can kind of check it and see if I need more seasonings. I tried to like generously do the meat
Mhm.
flavors.
So the meat's gonna like basically go on and season everything at the end. Is
Yeah.
that?
And we'll put the garlic in with these veggies.
Okay.
So that will give that.
I am cutting veggies, just different ones for dinner.
What have you got?
Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and broccoli for like sheet pan veggies to go with chicken and rice
Nice.
for dinner. I usually don't make dinner till 3, but I was like, I'll do it now.
Okay, that is another point that I think is really important is when I do meal prep, I don't do it an hour before dinner time. I don't do it when I'm hungry. I do it in between a meal because I get really hangry. And when I'm ready to eat, I'm ready to eat. I don't want to start the process because then it's frustrating and I give up. So that's one reason why I chose to do this at 11 o'clock in the middle of the day for me, so that I can get it started, have the meals done, and when I am ready to eat, it's all done. Okay, this is another tool that I don't know if you can see it very well. It's like, it's just wood, very thin. And when I was at my daughter-in-law's, she was using this to stir her veggies and stuff. I'm like, what is that? I don't know what it's called, but I came home and bought one because like, it's not good to dish something up, but it's so good to saute and it's to stir hot things. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of give that a second, hopefully, to I'm cooking the sweet potatoes and trying to soften them for a few minutes before we add the other veggies.
Can you tell us about, sorry,
Yeah,
I don't want to, like quinoa, how you make your quinoa?
Yes,
Do you just like make a big batch and keep it in the fridge? Do you
I
tell
do.
me more?
Yes, in fact, we are gonna make some quinoa, and if we want, while this is like on the stove right now. I'm gonna put my quinoa together and just get that started because it takes 15 minutes to simmer. So I'll do quinoa right now. I have a saucepan here. And I do chicken broth. I got 2 cups of chicken broth and 1 cup of quinoa. And you mix it together. I have another one of these. On Amazon, it had a set of 3. It's Earlywood brand. But I can send the link for those if you're curious about those. So you do the broth or water, 2 cups of that with 1 cup of quinoa. And you bring that to a boil. And so I'll just wait for that. And then I put the lid on it, turn it down to simmer and let it simmer for 15 minutes. And that's how you do quinoa. It's like rice. You can cook quinoa in a rice cooker, like you would rice. Has anybody heard of or have a steam oven? A convection steam oven? It's a new appliance, but I got one in my kitchen and I love it. And that's
Really, I haven't used it. I'm like, what is this?
Do you have one?
Yeah, I do.
And you haven't used your steam oven?
Not really, not enough. Yeah.
That's
Behind me here. I don't know what it is, but it's it's at the top there.
yeah. I
Tell me how I do it.
cook my rice in there. I cook my quinoa in there.
Really?
Uh-huh. And I've done actually a little video about how to cook it in a steam oven, my quinoa. I'll send you the video of what to set the steam oven to. But I put it in there and it takes 30 minutes. It takes twice as long, but it's hot. I just throw it in there and it comes out done. It's ready to go.
Okay, so tell me one more time because I went to find my quinoa. It's 1 to 2, 1 part
Yeah.
quinoa, 2 parts liquid?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, my potatoes need a little water in there. Yep, it's 2 to 1 for the quinoa. And what we're doing is we have so many veggies and a whole pound of ground turkey and this sweet potatoes in there. This is going to make quite a big batch of food. And this, I love it. It's one of my favorite breakfasts. When I have this in the fridge, I just always know what my breakfast is going to be. If I don't have it for breakfast, I'll have it for lunch or for dinner. But I have to eat 3 meals a day, and each meal needs to have a protein and a load of veggies in it. So this fits that category. And it is just so satisfying. I'll bring it up right now while letting this cook, but I don't know if you've ever done coconut aminos, but this doesn't have any soy in it. And this is so good on this dish, especially. So it kind of acts like soy sauce a little bit. But so let me check to see if my sweet potatoes are just getting a little soft. Yeah, they are just barely tender. So I am going to add my garlic. I'm going to throw all these other veggies in there. Whatever kind of garlic you're going to use. That you can. Do that. And you can put as much, yeah, kind of decide your level of garlic that you want. These are the onions. Do onions and celery first. I always add the veggies according to which ones need a little extra time. So like obviously sweet potatoes did, and then this celery and onions. And you also can be very careful about like how much you want to, how far you want this to go. I threw all of that in. Maybe that's too much for you, but I'm okay if this is more loaded with veggies. I'm gonna let that kind of soften, tender. Okay, my quinoa is now boiling. So if you put your quinoa on, just check that it's boiling, and then just turn it down to simmer. And then set your timer for 15 minutes. I have to do it on my watch because I have to have it with me. Most of the time when I put something in and think, oh, I'll remember that, I walk out of the room. Even if the timer goes off in the kitchen, I'll be in the other room and I don't hear it. So anyway, I always set my own watch timer. And do you have any other questions, or how are things going in your kitchen? You want to give an update? How's it going for you,
Smells
Jamie?
good.
Does it smell good? Doing something good. Good. How's yours, Candace?
It's coming along nicely. I did get a Japanese sweet potato, which is not red on the inside, so nobody make that mistake. Yeah, we're good. My veggies are softening, and I haven't added the zucchini yet. Is that correct?
I haven't done mine either. I
Okay.
was just letting the onion and the celery just get a little extra minute. So right now in here I have the sweet potatoes, the garlic, the onion, and the celery. I'm gonna throw the rest of it in, the peppers and the zucchini and the squash. This is good practice for me to find out how long this really takes. When I cook, I like to turn on something fun to listen to, music or a podcast, or start a phone call with somebody you want to talk to. And I'm going to show you. Maybe someday I'll have one of those cameras, those overhead cameras, so you can actually see what's going on. But for right now, I want you to see this rainbow that I have. Is that how yours looks? It's so pretty. And I'm gonna give it a minute to kind of.
Mine is less rainbowy because I didn't have the red peppers or that red yam in there, but it still
Okay.
looks very pretty, and I'm still very excited to eat it.
Good. That looks delicious. And can you see how far it's gonna go? It's gonna make a lot. So that's what's exciting is.
So I make something similar to this. I prep everything and then my husband cooks it on our Blackstone, but it's like a egg roll, the insides of an egg roll. So so I still do the ground turkey, and then the veggies I use is like shredded cabbage, and I'll just do them in my food processor, but like shredded cabbage, shredded carrots, shredded onions, Sometimes I throw broccoli in there, and then I do the package of the frozen cauliflower, and
Uh-huh.
then add like soy sauce and something else. Anyway, it's really good, but it
Good.
reminds me of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you tried the coconut aminos before?
Yeah, that's what I use.
Is that what you use?
Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
don't think my stomach likes it, but I eat it anyway.
Cool. I love the ideas. I love how you make this work.
Becky, will you talk for a second about feeding yourself versus feeding your family and how that plays together for you?
Yeah. It's one of the biggest battles that we face. I've had a lot of conversations with Rachel about this. I've struggled a lot with the way I feel integrity and feel good about eating and cooking, and then the element of trying to feed and provide for my family, because that really is a heavy role that we play. I mean, our husbands provide or work, and sometimes we work too, but it's always our responsibility to either have a plan or know what the next meal is. So I feel like I waited a long time in my life to get to the point where I really asked myself, what is it I want? Because I realized that providing for me and making the foods that I want that make me happy actually help me serve my family better. And for so many years, I was serving family and doing everything they wanted to do. And it really was not really what brought me the happiness that I needed, which meant, yes, I would not eat or resentful of eating, or just I had a lot of emotional stuff that went with that. So this is where I just feel like I took it into my own hands, and I do meal prep. I prep the foods that I want that help me feel good. I have them ready to go, and I just make sure I stay on my schedule, and if I can adjust what I have for the kids or the family, I could do that. Or if they do something completely different, I'm just in a better attitude or mood to do that. So it's kind of more of just saying, I am worth taking care of myself. I am worth feeling good. I am worth it, because there's so many other people depending on me. So I don't know if that helps. I don't have any magic secret except that you matter, and what feels good to you and tastes good to you is really important, and not to put it aside. So any thoughts?
I also like, sorry, can I share it?
Yeah.
You know, I like to talk. I like doing meals that are kind of, I've ventured more into these like scrambled type meals, but I also like to make ones like today. We're doing just chicken in the Instapot, rice, and then like the tray of veggies. And I did that the other day, and the rice didn't even get eaten. Like the kids just wanted the chicken and veggies, which I was very surprised. Because that hasn't always been the case, but or I don't know. I try to have options for the kids while also providing
Yeah.
all the things I want to eat.
Right.
So
I'm gonna grab my salt and pepper here. Yes, you do need to have options. I'm gonna salt and pepper the veggies, and I realized I didn't put that in the meat either. But I'll tell you, every time I eat, I add salt and pepper to the at the end anyway. I feel like that's really where the best flavors come, or the salt and pepper is used. So I'd love to talk more about eating or providing for your family and fixing food. Like Rachel said, she's used a lot of the scramble idea. I found that bowls idea, like an Asian bowl with rice, veggies, meat, or a taco bowl. That's actually what we're going to do next week is a taco bowl. And how, just using different seasonings make it taste like tacos. And I think those adapt really well to families. They can either put it on tortillas, these skillet things, they can add eggs if they want, or they can make a breakfast burrito out of this. They can have versatile. I'm just checking my quinoa. I am ready to put my turkey into my veggies. Check your veggies and see if they're all done.
Mine are looking great, and I kind of have to jump ahead because I gotta leave in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do you would you have this mixture cool down completely before you put it in containers for the fridge, or can I put it in the fridge warm? What do you recommend on that?
It really depends on how long you're going to be gone. If I would probably just put it in the fridge
Okay.
so that it's all taken care of, and if you don't get back to it for a while, it's okay.
Okay.
So sometimes I just put the whole thing in a big container and put it in the fridge.
Uh-huh.
If you're ready to divide it out, you can do that. But if you need to run or whatever, leave, I'd probably just throw the whole thing in a container.
Okay.
And that's why it's nice to have a different variety of sizes of containers. Oh, after all that, I forgot my mushrooms.
Oh no,
I'll throw them in now.
they cook fast.
They do. And yes, so yeah, I think I answered that question. So this is very colorful. I need I didn't take there. Take a picture of my food. I love pictures of my food. You've noticed that. I love the colors. I love the flavors. I love the smells. And now I have a big batch of this. And if, as you can tell, adding a little coconut amino, some kind of flavor like this, kind of like a soy sauce type thing, would be a really nice flavor. Other things that I add when I eat this are avocado. I'll slice up avocado dice on top. You could throw tomatoes in if you're tomatoes. You could throw a fried egg on it, or scramble an egg into it, like more of a scramble. So there's lots of different ways of using this. But thanks for joining me with my turkey and veggie hash today. Are there any other questions or comments? Or I'd love to hear how it's turning out or how it smells in your house right now.
Looks good. Here's mine.
Nice.
Yay! Yay! I just feel like we all need to celebrate each other.
We do. We just accomplished a lot. And I'm curious to know how long it will last you. And I do want to just say, if there's something that you want to talk about more personally about food or nutrition or just taking care of yourself, let's just get on a phone call. Let's just talk about it and see where you're at and what it is you need. So this has been really fun. It's made my cooking day a little more enjoyable. Sorry, it did take longer. It's hard to estimate how long cooking will take. But don't forget your quinoa. Mine will be done in 2 minutes. So then you've got your quinoa and your dish, and I think you're ready to go for a whole week. So
it tastes so good. It's amazing. Thank you, Becky.
Good. Good. Thank you. Well, I'll be back next week and we'll do another dish. We're going to do tacos next week. Hey.
Bye.
Bye.
And Leah, thanks for joining.
You